Hello YouTubers. Today we're going to do an update on my hammock system and show you some new items that I've recently acquired from Hammock Gear. Well, I've made a lot of nice changes to my hammock system recently and trying to improve things and lighten things up. It's a never-ending battle trying to get things to be as lightweight as possible and as comfortable as possible. It's also difficult to keep your temperature range capabilities as flexible as possible as well. But anyway, what you can see here is the current bug net that I'm using. The bug net is made by Dutchware, and it's actually with what they call a bug summer sock. And what's nice about it is it's got this little argon thing down here, the argon fabric. It acts kind of as a windbreak and also protects anything you have underneath here. And the bug net part's up on the top. Now, if it gets cold, what you can do is you can spin the net and put this on the top and create a windbreak over the top of you, and let your underquilt, handle the brunt of the stuff. They also make one that's just the net completely around, and they also make one called the winter sock, which is essentially this material almost all the way around except for one side right here, which would be netting so you can breathe and and get the condensation out. And they're nice. But anyway, let me open the bug net up here. Basically, you just pull that in. You can tighten that up from inside, and it's similar to the bug net that I had, except it's a lot longer and a lot more comfortable. But anyway, here's my underquilt that I've just recently got. It's from Hammock Gear, and this is the Hammock Gear Incubator 20 degrees. And the reason I chose a 20 degree is because I wanted something that could handle warmer temperatures, but when it gets like in the, around here, as cold as it gets is in the 50s and the 40s most of the time. But occasionally it can get down into the 30s. But I also wanted something that, say, if I went to New Mexico or somewhere where there was elevation, that with a little bit warmer clothes, I could go, into the teens. And sometimes, very rarely in Louisiana, it does get in the teens, but it's very, very rare. Once every 30 years maybe. But it gives me the most flexibility. And the nice thing about that kind of flexibility is that, and having that, and experimenting with that, is it gives you ranges of options so you can buy as little less gear as possible. Now, if I was going to the Arctic, or if I lived up in Canada, or if I was going to Alaska or whatever, I'd probably get the zero version of this, the Incubator 0 degree. But down here in the lower 48, if you're doing a through hike on the AT, or going on the Continental Divide Trail, or doing the Pacific Crest Trail, this 20 degree underquilt is fine. Now, as you can see, I still have my Eno hammock. I'm actually thinking about upgrading that to a 10-foot Dutchware Chameleon. I haven't decided yet what I want to do yet, but probably eventually we'll at least get a 10-foot hammock versus the shorter thing, because it's just, they're a little more comfortable. My other thing that I've gotten from Hammock Gear is a Burrow 20 degree underquilt. And as you can see, I've got the one with the drawstring and the snaps. It's very well made. It's very warm. And I'm, kind of impressed with what I got here. One thing I've noticed about the down quilts is that the down likes to move around a lot. And you know, so and it takes some time to move the down to get it centered, and you know, and spread out and get the loft back up. I'm still learning on that and experimenting. If I find any tricks or tips that I can give to you guys on how to do that, I'll do so. And but very nice, and as I say, it's custom made for me with the colors that I wanted. The drawstring is nice. The snaps are well made. I also got the cord strap set so that I can use this with the pad, and this is the wide version, so using it on a thermarest or something should be a lot easier, because you know, it'll be able to go completely around me without having any, you know, cold getting out. I can actually turn around, you know, turn in my bag if I'm doing a ground sleep. Now, this right here currently, this stuff I wouldn't normally use in the summer here in Louisiana, because it gets real hot, and it's September, or, you know, and it's still warm here, extremely warm here. Now, coming November, January, February, in those areas, then yeah, these will come out. But in the meantime, what I usually carry, give me a second to grab this, is one of these little things. This is a one of these little cheap Black Diamond Costco quilt, down quilts. They're cheap. You can pick these up for 20-30 bucks on Amazon or Costco or wherever. And but they're called double diamond or black diamond. And these are sufficient for, you know, a cooler night in the summertime under the hammock. You know, like I said, during the summer I don't even use an underquilt, because you want, right here, you want the breeze to go up underneath you to cool you off, or you sweat real bad. But the summer sock sufficiently blocks the wind for the most part. So this sort of acts like an underquilt and an insulator, you know, but let's say I'm not actually using a quilt underneath the hammock. I'm just using a top quilt, and these are light and they compact real small. But this is normally what I would use during the summertime. Excuse me. I also have my Twilights, which I just hang up. Now, one little mod that I did is I took some bank line, and every other light I tied a knot down the length of the thing, so that all I have to do is tie off right here, tie it on this end, and I'm good to go. And all the weight of the light string is supported on that bank line and not on the plastic cable of the lights. It'd be kind of interesting if you know, would do that themselves. You know, take some Dyneema cord or some, you know, bank line cord, nylon cord, and actually have it wrapped around in there, you know, to take the strain. Makes the light stronger and easier to hang. My tarp for right now, I still have the Eno here. I've ordered a new tarp from Hammock Gear. They had a really nice sale, 75 bucks for a really nice silk-nylon tarp. I couldn't resist, so I'm waiting for that to come in. It weighs half of what this one does, and when that shows up, you know, I'll be replacing that with that. It's great, you know, it's good looking on, you know, the specs. We'll play with it and find out whether it is a good replacement. I did have the tarp customized to have the line lock 3s put on it, which is similar to how this one is, because what I like doing is tying just tying around the tree and putting like the alien loops, and then using the line lock to pull it tight so I can adjust that way. And it's just a lot quicker to set up that. I mean, I don't have a static ridge line underneath here or over top, but you know, that's one less thing I have to carry and set up. So it lowers my weight. So I prefer the line locks. I'm also using the MSR groundhog stakes. I'm thinking of upgrading to the mini groundhogs, which are a little slightly shorter. They weigh less. And you know, I'm getting this down. My Eno has been heavily customized. You know, the Eno hammock, where it's got Dyneema continuous loops on the ends, and I'm using their Alto straps, which are Dyneema style, and I'm using the Dutch wear clips instead of the standard carabiner. So, and just doing those mods lowered the weight of my Eno hammock by 4 ounces. So it made a big difference. And I am using the Eno double nest, by the way, if I didn't mention that. But it's an excellent hammock for a beginner or somebody just getting into it. And if you, like say, if you're trying to pack light as possible, lightness is, you know, some people say, oh, it's heavier, but you make all those mods and it's lighter than a lot of the, you know, some of the other brands. But that's pretty much it. And I hope you like what you see and everything. And as always, like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon, Discord. There's a lot of links down in the bottom. We also really need your support on Patreon because this gear ain't cheap. I pay for this stuff out of pocket. We don't get stuff from manufacturers. Nobody sends me free stuff. I do this, you know, we do this out of our own pocket. And it can get real expensive. By the way, this hammock quilt and top quilt, that's $500 right there. So this stuff isn't cheap, but you know, to get. Now in the long run, it's a good deal, you know, as you know, as far as gear, when you buy, because you're getting quality and it works, and it's worth every penny. But you know, we're making YouTube videos for you guys, and we need to buy stuff to have content to show you. Otherwise, we kind of run out of things to show you, and we don't want to do that. You know, and that we get it first so that you, and test it so that you know that it works before you spend your hard-earned cash on it. Anyway, thank you very much, and see you later.